Good afternoon, everybody. Sorry about the cough. I really want to make a video talking about just a slew of things that are bugging me. First off, what happened yesterday in Lakeland, California, the school shooting, needs to be addressed. I'm fully cognizant of the fact that all the thoughts and prayers in the world won't bring back the students whose lives were lost. I'm fully cognizant of the fact that it won't repair the broken families. It won't heal the children that have got to live with this now. None of that will help, but I still offer them anyway, as human beings should. However, here's what I do offer. Cheap plug to Dunkin' Donuts for their great coffee. I offer facts and reasons. Now, politicians on both sides are quick to jump and blame something or someone because that's what the average person who's driven by emotion wants. And don't get me wrong, if you're not emotional about this, if you don't feel emotion, you're not human. You should be emotional. You should be angry. You should be upset. I'm a parent. I couldn't imagine what those parents are going through right now, or any of the parents of these things. I couldn't imagine these horrible feelings that they must be having. So anger, sadness, grief are natural and normal emotions here. But what we can't do is allow those emotions to dictate future policy. I see the internet is already littered with stupidity. We have the internet, we have the left-wing propaganda blaming the NRA, blaming guns, blaming politicians, threatening the president. I mean, it's insane. It's pure insanity. And we have right-wingers saying more guns, more guns, more guns. I think we can all agree that mental health is a big problem. I think uniformly, no matter which side of the fence you're on, we can all agree to that. What I think we can't seem to agree on is how do we solve it? You know, all the doctoring and cherry picking of footage that Occupy Democrats and all these other fake news sites want to do for their mindless sheep who hate President Trump, let them do it. Eventually, they'll get made out for the frauds that they are, and that's all they can do. I don't want to talk politics, because the NRA had nothing to do with this. Republican senators had nothing to do with this. Democrat senators had nothing to do with this. Let's start placing the blame, if we're going to place blame, where it belongs. Number one, the shooter. What a novel concept, right? Blaming the person who pulled the trigger. Number two, the shooter. And number three, the media. Yeah, I said it, the media. If you can name the shooter, but you can't name the victims without a Google search, it's because of the media. Why are they mentioning these clowns' names? So copycat crazy bastards can go and they want to do the same thing that these people do. So, what exactly is the problem? Media is a big part of it. Mental health. You know, when I was growing up, things like this didn't happen, but guns weren't any more or less accessible. So that's not the problem. The accessibility of firearms isn't the issue, because mentally deficient people already can't own guns. We do have a breakdown in the background check system, the NCIS system, because of HIPAA. We don't want to violate patient privacy, so someone who is on a list of mentally defective people can't be put into the background check system necessarily because of HIPAA. So that is a bit of a problem, and I don't think a mental screening for every person that wants to buy a gun is the answer. I think that's a little extreme. But the left wants to talk about gun control measures because they love to dance in the victim's blood. That's what Democrats do. Emotions, emotions, emotions. But they haven't proposed any actual specific legislation that we can talk about. You want to talk about gun control, then let's talk about gun control, but let's see something that you've got in writing before we talk. A broad-based comment to appeal to emotion isn't going to fix anything. I want to talk about mental health. I think that's a bigger issue. We've gotten to the point in society where we normalize crazy. We really do normalize it, and it's really sickening. Think of it this way. The kids in that school have stated they thought he was going to do something like this, but nobody said anything to do anything. How does that happen? Why is this a problem? We're coddling crazy people. We're coddling human beings who are crazy. You know, humans have slaughtered and victimized each other since the beginning of time. We need to stop coddling people. If they're crazy, let's do something about it. Maybe they're just stupid talking, and that's fine. Let the authorities figure that out. Maybe we save a life by doing something, saying something. What do I know, though? I'm just a guy, right? So that's the first thing. Stop coddling crazy people. Stop coddling stupid people. This is the fucking problem we've come to in society. Say something. You hear somebody say, I should shoot everybody up. Then fucking say something. Not to them. Go to the authorities. Say, hey, you know, so-and-so might be crazy. We might want to take a look at these possible threats. Let the authorities handle it. They're not going to get mad if it turns out to be nothing. It's a lot better than them scooping dead bodies off the floor. I assure you the police would rather investigate a nothing claim than, you know, peel up dead children. So there's enough idea. But don't come at me with, it's guns are the problem, NRA's the problem, the Republicans, Trump. That seems to be the general mantra of the delusional left who wants to blame everything but the problem. Now, I'm not sure it's as easy as what I just said. It's probably not. There are great minds on the left and there are great minds on the right. But until they can come together and figure out what the fuck the problems are, how the fuck can anyone begin to solve them? We do have a problem, people. We do have an issue in America. You know, I wrote something yesterday. I think I'm going to share it with you guys. I've seen a couple things, but I'm going to read something to you that I saw. Ever wonder why there were no school shootings from the 60s to the 80s? Few easy explanations that happen to be right. There were very few single parents. Babies out of wedlock was really a non-issue. Teachers didn't freak out every time a boy acted like a boy and got into a pissing match on the playground. Newsflash for you ADD worshippers. You doyens of gender studies, boys who fight and whip each other at 7 and 8 years old, don't do it so much at 18. They don't shoot up schools at 18. And when they do at 18, they stop before anyone gets killed. Boys fighting serves a larger purpose. It instills respect, it instills fear, caution. It also, it's also an important safety valve. Natural male aggression, properly managed by men, not women, keeping boys from snapping. So no shooting sprees. It's just parenting, people. Let the kids be kids, but don't. I don't know. I have another thing that I wrote. I really want to share this because it is time for action. It absolutely is. It's not the NRA. It's not the guns. It's not the First Amendment, the Second Amendment. You know what good law enforcement officers, police do, investigators, when there's a crime? They find commonalities. They tie things together. They don't dance in the still warm blood of the victims. However, that's just a liberal thing, I think. All of these these shooters and bombers have been on psychotropic drugs, so that could be a commonality. We're not going to get into the political thing, how most of them seem to be Democrats and have Marxist bullshit on their web pages. That's not really relevant right now, although it could be. They're sick and twisted individuals who only attack defenseless victims. They're weak. They're pathetic. They will never engage someone who can engage them back, because then they can't consummate their sick, twisted fantasy of dominance. But the mass media glamorizes these guys. I don't know what else to say, people. We have a lot of problems. But before people, I'm seeing things like online, there's so much stupidity going on, people. There have not been 29 school shootings in the United States since January, by the way. There have not. So that is not an issue. There have been 3 deadly shootings. The rest have been either accidental or suicidal. Oh my God. Even my best friend is being stupid right now and buying into this bullshit. So I'm going to have to imbibe on him some actual laws. I'm going to leave you all with that because I think that's enough to think about. I hope you can actually use your brain and think about this regardless of what you believe.